Ladies and gentlemen, today I will be making one of my favorite videos I have made in a long time. It's going to be pretty long, but I hope you guys stick to it and listen through this because this could change NitroType and NitroMath forever. So to start off, I'd just like to let you guys know that I will not be able to post for about the next 2 weeks. I'll be on a trip, so I apologize for that. However, obviously, enjoy the game. Now, let's start with today's video. Everyone knows about NitroMath. If we head over to the play now, I'm sure all of you have played this game. It's very fun, in my opinion. I know that's very controversial. But here's something a lot of y'all don't know. NitroMath is built off of a gaming engine. This gaming engine is called Unity. NitroType, on the other hand, is built on a totally different platform. It's built, I'm pretty sure it's built through the website on JavaScript. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is JavaScript. So, whenever something happens on NitroType, it is different on NitroMath. For example, see how it is purple that comes out of the back of the Mach 10 Maverick? Versus on NitroMath, if we load it into a game, we will see that it actually shows up as white. So, this is something that's very interesting, and it's something that not a lot of people realize. As you can see here, it's white. Now, why is this? Well, number one, NitroType and NitroMath are two very different games, right? You know that. NitroType is a set world game. You never go out of this boundary box. This is your boundary box, and you never change. The background changes, your car does not ever move, the screen doesn't move around. Versus on NitroMath, as we know, you casually just go out of your area, there's a whole map, all that stuff. Now, this does present some problems. Whenever the developers create something for NitroType to release in a season, they're also having to code it in a different platform known as Unity. I'm going to talk about Unity a little more in a second. But what does this mean? This means that everything that's released to NitroType is released twice. It is coded for both NitroType and NitroMath. At least that's how I've understood it from people I've talked to, some of the admins and VL. So, that's an interesting aspect. Why am I really here to share this video with you? I guess you could call me sort of a nerd, but I love Apple. You probably already know this. I mean, Travis and Kristen have tried to convince me to use Google Chrome. I'm still an avid Safari user. But that's not the point. The point is, Apple just did something amazing. They did their WWDC 23. Now, you might not know what this is. WWDC is the Apple event, Worldwide Developer Conference. And in this Worldwide Developer Conference, they announced a lot of awesome things. But the key thing they announced is Apple Vision Pro. Apple Vision Pro is a AR headset that is released. Now, you might think this is not related to NitroType. Trust me, I will get back to it. It is an AR headset, spatial computing, all these beautiful things. You can go read about it yourself if you want. There's never been anything like this. You can literally watch films in the headset. Look at this. A film in the headset. It's absolutely beautiful. But this is not what's crazy. Apps, Safari, actual apps like Messages and Keynote, all these can be run in Apple Vision Pro. Well, Safari is an interesting thing. Okay, Safari, right, cool, we have NitroMath. How could we play NitroMath and NitroType on here? Yes, that would be really cool in my opinion. However, that is not what this video is about. There's a lot of really awesome things. You can go read through it. I love the features. I think it's a really awesome product. I think it will do good. Spatial computing, look, you have all these applications. But here is where I find it interesting. If we just keep going, it talks about all the awesome specs of it and how awesome it is, privacy, everything. But now, down here, an all-new platform and an all-new world for developers. The possibilities for developers are endless. Xcode, SwiftUI, RealityKit, ARKit, Unity. This is the most important sentence, as well as support for Unity. So let's go to the developer website. Discover Vision OS. Vision OS is the operating system that will run in this new headset. Well, if y'all remember, a while back, NitroType, they talked about developing an app. They were going to develop it. They were in the process of developing it. I do not know what happened about this app. I have no clue. I would love an app, personally. And as you can see, there are 3 different aspects to this Vision OS software. Windows, which is where you see something. Volumes, which is like a box. So that's if you were to I guess, place down something. So let's say I took a basketball and I put it down on a table. That's a box. That's in an area. It's not flat. And then number 3, spaces. So spaces is like a shared space where they're all beside each other, or a space where your app consumes everything. So like if you were to use watch a movie, there wouldn't be other stuff around your movie. So Apple Framework extended for spatial computing. You have Swift UI, Reality Kit, AR Kit, accessibility, right? But here's the most important part, Unity. Now you can use Unity's robust, familiar authoring tools to create new apps and games, or reimagine your existing Unity-created projects for Vision OS. Your apps get access to all the benefits of Vision OS, like pass-through and dynamically, I don't know what that word is, forvated rendering, in addition to familiar Unity features such as AR Foundation. By combining Unity's authoring and simulation capabilities with Reality Kit, managed apps rendering, content created with Unity looks and feels at home with Vision OS. Now, why am I making this video now? Well, the Apple Vision Pro is not set to release until early next year. That's when it's actually set to release. So, the reason I'm talking about this now is to sort of inspire, at the same time, plant the idea into the heads of the developers of NitroType to say, maybe we could get this to happen. So let's research Unity some. This is Unity's website. It's a really cool website. Everything they do is awesome. If you imagine Unreal Engine is for gaming. Unity is like Unreal Engine, except they're 2 separate softwares, right? 2 different things. So there's all these things. You can see traffic, you can see users, all this stuff. This is what NitroMath is actually run off of. It is a very cool software. It's very awesome. Animation, e-commerce, like look at this. They're animating a shoe layers going together. Look how beautiful that is, right? So they're definitely really cool stuff. Architecture, engineering, like the screws are just screwing themselves in. So there's so many really cool things you can do with Unity. We can head over to some pricing and see, you can buy Unity Pro for $2,040 a year. You can Enterprise, Unity Industry. There's all these different things. If you want to do more research, you can obviously check out unity.com. But here's what I'm coming to talk to you about today. NitroType is a game that can be an app. In my opinion, I believe it can be an app. Something else that was actually released in addition to the Vision Pro, which they actually released a new Mac, or they announced the MacBook Air 15-inch. However, here's something I'm thinking of. Let's look at, maybe, I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but anyway, they have Mac OS. A new feature they released with the actual Mac OS was the ability to create something called web apps. And simply what that was is a web app was able to take a web page and save it to your bar, like this down here, your bar. You could save it to your bar, and then you could open that app, and it would run like a website. It would run like an app instead of running like a website, which we've already been able to do this on iPads and stuff, which I think is very cool. However, they're finally bringing it to Mac. Well, oh, thank you for giving me money, Summer Blast Man. Well, here's what I'm thinking. Why not now have NitroType and NitroMath as apps? If we go to the updates page, I'm sure we could try to find where they talked about, sitemap actually, where they talked about actually releasing the, what am I trying to say? Oh, releasing an app. I'm sure we could find that somewhere. I don't know if it would be on here. Let's see. But anyway, they did talk about it in the past of actually releasing an app for the game. Now, why do I think that would be a good idea? It's simple. I think having an app for NitroType and NitroMath would be a genius idea because I think it's too hard. Not too hard, but I think it just makes it streamlined. Here's why an app would be beneficial. Number 1, notifications. You can get post notifications on your phone. You pop up a notification. Hey, the shop just reset. All right, well, sweet, you know to check the shop. Or, hey, someone just joined your team. Oh, sweet, you check your team. Or, hey, someone just updated the message of the day. All right, cool. Or, hey, new season's about to start in 1 hour. New news post has been posted. There's so many different things that you could use post notifications for that would be beneficial on a phone app and also on a desktop. Now, here's something interesting. I don't know how this works, but this is how they announced it during the Apple event. They announced that you will be able to make a web app of a website. So like right now, if the new software. I could use this to make a web app if I had the new software. And then I'd be able to launch the web app, and it would work just like it normally does on the web, but I could also get notifications from the app. I don't think currently NitroType doesn't offer notifications. That'd be on apps such as YouTube, who offer notifications through your browser. That adds the application and lets them offer notifications. Here's what I think should happen. Obviously, I'm not the developer. I don't know the inner workings of NitroType. I don't even know if this is physically possible. But I think NitroType and NitroMath should release an app. Obviously, this is awesome. I really believe in this. As you can see, I'm super excited. But not only do I think they should just release an app for your phone, I also think they should release either an app for the computer, where you could download it, or just using web app. Personally, I think an app for the computer would be better. I think if we had an app for the computer, we wouldn't have all this extra area. I think we could expand this screen farther. If we had an app for the computer, it'd make everything more seamless. Everything would work, in my opinion, better. I don't know if it's even physically possible to have an app for the computer, but I think they should do that. And then here's the real thing I want to talk about. I believe NitroType, especially, I don't know about NitroType, especially NitroMath, could be available with Vision OS and with the brand new Apple Vision Pro. Now, this would obviously have to work in conjunction. The developers of the Apple Vision Pro, the developers of NitroType would have to work with the developers of Apple Vision Pro. They'd have to work with all these things, developer labs, all these awesome things. However, I believe that using the Unity engines, as we showed by this down here, the Unity, I believe that NitroMath would be able to actually be played on the Apple Vision Pro headset. Now, as I said, if you don't know what the Apple Vision Pro headset is, I really encourage you to go check it out. It is a amazing device. It's kind of scary, but I think it's awesome. And I think it would be so crazy if one of the apps you could get on the Apple Vision Pro would be NitroType and NitroMath. Now, obviously, I'm saying this because I'm a NitroType and NitroMath YouTuber, and that's what I like to do, is I like to play NitroType and NitroMath. But I think it'd be really cool if this software could be ready and developed when NitroType and NitroMath releases, because they're not going to be, in my opinion, there are not going to be other educational games on the platform when it releases. You're going to have big games, probably, but NitroType and NitroMath would be something totally different to do. There's so much things like vision tracking with the Apple Vision Pro and so many other awesome things that I guess could be taken advantage of on NitroType and NitroMath. But I really think using Unity, it is possible for NitroMath especially to move over to an app on Apple Vision Pro. I think it'd be super cool if they worked with Apple, helped develop the software, and could switch over their Unity engine to Apple Vision Pro. Now, here's the thing. Apple Vision Pro is designed to be 3D. So what could that mean for NitroMath? It would be so cool. In my opinion, of course, like I'm not the smartest person in the world, nor am I a developers, but it would be so cool if we could, as you saw, we got this thing for April Fools, right? The circle. Well, what if this would take a lot of work? I agree. However, what if we could get NitroMath in 3D? This right here is not really 3D, right? I think we all know that. However, what if we can make it where your car was in the middle, right? And you were standing and you represented your car. And wherever you looked, wherever you turned your head, your car drove around. Or maybe not even that. Maybe your screen just rotated sideways and you could see depth of the answers in the field. I just think, especially with Apple Vision Pro's new immersion and how that works, how you can fully immerse yourself or partially immerse yourself into the headset, I think it's very beneficial, and I think it's very awesome and possible that NitroType and NitroMath, especially NitroMath, I don't know about NitroType, but especially NitroMath, could take advantage of it. I do not know how hard it would be. Obviously, I am not a developer, but I do not know how hard it would be to actually switch over from Unity to just put this, put an app like this on the actual Apple Vision Pro headset without really changing anything. I don't know how hard that would be by itself. However, I do know it is possible because, they talk about it right here. You can easily switch over from your Unity engine being run to Apple Vision Pro. So I do know there are ways for it to happen. I just don't know if NitroType, number one, wants that, or number two, thinks it'd be beneficial. That's just my thoughts. I think it would be really cool to have it where you could literally, like, everything would be 3D. Your car, it'd be really hard because you have to build sides of cars that we don't see already. But maybe if you didn't even do that and just gave some other stuff depth, gave some of the answers depth, gave the buttons more depth than they already have. I mean, you can see this kind of already 3D here, but to be able to turn my head and see the edges of it or something, I just think that would be super, super cool. So I apologize this video has taken so long, and I'm sorry, as I said, I won't be able to be posting for the next 2 weeks, but I just wanted to get this off there before I leave on my trip and let y'all know of the possibilities of Apple Vision Pro and the possibilities of Unity, and maybe this could eventually happen. I think it'd be beneficial to do this. Now, TLDR, here it is. Apple Vision Pro has released, and the Unity engine that runs NitroMath might be able to be switched over to Apple Vision Pro and run an app on there. You might be able to use Apple Vision Pro to make NitroType and NitroMath 3D. The NitroType and NitroMath apps should be apps that you could download on your phone, on your Mac, whatever, in my opinion. And then also, I think that it would just be a computer app too, would be beneficial for everything. And then maybe, I'll make a separate video on this eventually, but maybe an offline version of NitroType and NitroMath. Maybe you wouldn't get rewarded as much bonuses. Maybe you'd only get half the amount of XP or half the amount of something, but it would save in your local cache. And then once you load it onto the internet, it would add it to your season total or whatever. You'd race against AIs, obviously, but as we all know, those can be some kind of brutal AIs sometimes. So I do think those are some very possible things that could happen and could come to the game in the future. And I really hope it could, I already have 3 AIs right now, but Siri. Anyway, I hope this could happen. Siri, I'm not talking to you, but anyway. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I will see you in my next video.